You know, when we think of Shakespeare's sonnets, we usually think of love, right? But in some of his most profound poems, love isn't just a feeling, it's a weapon. A weapon in a desperate, ongoing war against our one true enemy, time. And in this explainer, we're gonna dive right into that war.
See, for Shakespeare, time isn't just a concept. It's not a clock ticking on the wall. No, time is the villain of the story. It's an active, destructive, and almost evil force that's out to get everyone and everything. So here's our game plan. Think of it as a story in 4 acts. First, we'll meet the villain. Then, we'll look at the damage it leaves behind. After that, we'll find the poet's secret weapon. And finally, we'll see what this whole battle is really all about.
All right, first up, let's get properly introduced to this villain. Because Shakespeare doesn't just say, oh, time passes. No, he creates a full-blown character, and this character has some seriously destructive intentions.
Just listen to those verbs. Devour, crumble, swallow. Does that sound like gentle aging to you? Heck no. This is a violent, brutal assault. He's painting a picture of a monster that is actively eating away at everything precious, from huge empires all the way down to the beauty of a single human face.
And like any good villain, time comes armed. In Sonnet 64, he talks about time's fell hand, a savage, cruel hand that just smashes and erases history. Then in Sonnet 65, it gets even more intense. It's a wrackful siege, like a military attack, where every single day is a battering ram against the walls of beauty. This isn't just pretty poetry, this is a war zone.
Okay, so we've met the bad guy. Now let's look at the crime scene. Shakespeare makes us stare right at the evidence of time's unstoppable power, and honestly, it's pretty grim. This opening line from Sonnet 60, wow. It might be one of the most perfect images in all of poetry. With just a few words, he captures that relentless, unstoppable march of our lives toward death. It's simple, and it is absolutely breathtaking. So let's break that image down. A wave hits the shore, and another is right behind it, and another after that. It never stops. Well, our minutes are doing the exact same thing, one after another, pushing us forward in what he calls a sequent toil, this exhausting, non-stop conveyor belt. You can't pause it, you can't rewind it. It's just a grim, mechanical march to the end. So after seeing all this destruction, the crumbling towers, the endless waves, what's the emotional impact? Well, here it is, from Sonnet 64, and it's devastating. There is zero comfort. The poet realizes that time will eventually take away the person he loves, and that thought alone feels like a death sentence. It's this profound grief for something he hasn't even lost yet.
Okay, so we're at rock bottom. Everything beautiful is doomed. The situation looks hopeless, but it's right here, in this moment of total despair, that the poet comes up with a new plan. He reaches for a weapon so desperate, so unlikely, it's almost unbelievable.
And this slide, this is the whole fight in a nutshell. On one side, you have the raw power of time, destroying the strongest things we can possibly build. Brass, stone, giant towers, all turned to dust. And on the other side, the poet's only weapon. It's not a sword, it's not a shield, it's something fragile, almost absurd, a miracle made of black ink. You can just hear the desperation in his voice here. He's asking, how in the world can something as fragile as beauty, literally no stronger than a flower, defend itself against the pure rage of time? The whole thing seems completely hopeless. The odds are impossible.
And here's the key. When Shakespeare offers a poetry as the solution, he uses the word miracle. And he means it, literally. He's admitting this isn't a logical argument. He knows that in a universe where everything physical falls apart, the idea that a few words on a page can last forever, well, that's not science. That's an act of faith. It defies the laws of nature.
So here's the incredible conclusion. He asks, what can stand up to time? And his first answer is nothing. Omoronannai, he says. There's no hope. But then comes that tiny, crucial word, unless. Unless this one little miracle, this impossible idea, actually works. Unless this fragile ink on this fragile page can somehow keep a light shining in the darkness. It is not a guarantee. It's a long shot. It's the only shot he has.
Okay, so in our final act, this huge cosmic battle gets really, really personal. The war against time isn't about monuments anymore. It's happening inside the poet's own body. And we're about to discover that love isn't just the thing being fought for, it's also part of the fight itself. So get this. In Sonnet 73, Shakespeare basically writes his own eulogy while he's still alive. He asks his beloved to look right at him and see his own decay. And he paints this picture using three of the most beautiful and heartbreaking images he ever came up with. The first metaphor for his aging is a tree in late autumn. The leaves are gone, the branches are bare, but then he deepens it, merging it with this really powerful image from his own time. Bare, ruined choirs. He's talking about the ruins of monasteries that were destroyed, places that were once filled with life and song, now just empty stone shells. He's saying, that's me. My body is a ruin, and the song is gone. For the second image, he hits fast forward. The time scale shrinks from a whole year down to a single day. Now he says he's the fading light of twilight, that last little glow before it gets completely swallowed by black night, which he calls death's second self. The end isn't just a distant season anymore. It's coming tonight. And this last image is the most personal and paradoxical. He says he's like a dying fire. And what's smothering the flames? The ashes of the very wood that used to fuel it. Think about that for a second. His own past vitality, his youth, is now the very thing that's choking the life out of him. The process of living is also the process of dying.
Now, after that absolutely devastating self-portrait, you would expect the poem to end in despair. But this is where Shakespeare pulls off an incredible magic trick, a total emotional reversal. The whole point of showing his decay wasn't to be depressing, it was to reveal a profound truth about what love does when it's staring into the abyss.
And here it is, the breathtaking conclusion. He looks at his beloved and says, "You see all this decay in me, and it makes your love for me stronger. Why? Because you know you have to lose me soon. Love becomes more precious, more intense, precisely because it has an expiration date. It's a feeling we all understand. We hold on to the best moments so much tighter when we know they can't last forever." So where does this whole war leave us? Well, Shakespeare paints time as the ultimate villain, shows us the wreckage, and offers up art as a fragile, desperate defense. But the deepest truth, the one that still hits us right where we live, is that knowing things will end doesn't destroy love. It concentrates it. It makes it burn even brighter against the coming darkness.
Which leaves us with one final thought. Here we are, 400 years later, still reading and talking about these exact words. So, was he right? Did the miracle of black ink actually work? Is this a real victory over time? Or is it simply the most beautiful, defiant, and deeply human way of hoping against hope? A hope we all feel every time we take a photo or tell a story, just trying to make something we love last forever.